Hello, everybody. I decided that I would do this interview for a mental health organization, and let's see. Basically, I'm just going to read this to you and see what you think. You can give your feedback. Okay. So, hello, my name is Todd Goldfinger. I've suffered from mental health issues for over 24 years, and I believe that mental health is a very important topic to talk about, and that it's something that we should be very open about. I lost my father when I was 12 years old, and it was completely unexpected. He wasn't sick, there weren't any warning signs, and he was only 44. This death left an unbearable trauma on me, and I felt like my world turned black. I was completely lost and alone, and by the time I was 15, I had already considered suicide many times. I had crushed up a bottle of pills when a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses came to the door, basically talked to me, and they came to my rescue. They told me that the world was going to end, and so I thought to myself, well, then I don't need to kill myself if we're all going to die. After my father's death 1 year later, I started playing the bass guitar and got deeply into music. I started playing in bands, recorded albums, and played many gigs in New York. It wasn't until after college that I started going to therapy, and at one point, even went on medications for depression and anxiety. The medication I took was called Effexor, and it was a complete horror. I had terrible side effects and felt absolutely miserable. That was the end of my experience and medications until I graduated college. When I graduated college in May of 2001, I moved back home and became very depressed. It was the week of 9/11 when I packed my things. It was that week that I made a trip down to Miami to visit my family. After a couple of months, it became very clear to my family around me that I was very depressed, or so it appeared. It was recommended that I speak to a psychiatrist, and I was put on antidepressants. Unfortunately, this didn't work, as the antidepressants caused me to have a psychotic break, or what may have been a manic episode. Shortly thereafter, I was hospitalized after having an outburst at a shopping mall, where I was taken in by the police and Baker acted, which is what they call it in Florida if they don't arrest you, but they put you in a psychiatric facility. I was hospitalized for about a week and put on a drug called Zyprexa. It helped a great deal, but I gained a whole lot of weight. I was able to feel good again and considered Zyprexa to be a wonder drug, with the exception of the weight gain. I was able to stay on the medication for some time, but then it became the kind of thing where I was on it, and I started feeling good, and then stopped taking the medications, which I guess is very usual in these cases. My diagnosis at the time was bipolar disorder, but to rule it out, I had a very good doctor in Miami, and this helped me a great deal. It wasn't until years later when I got married and was feeling depressed, when I was married, that my wife would often ask me, "Are you feeling okay? Are you not feeling well? Do you want to go to the hospital?" Making it so easy for me, I went several times, and oftentimes it was because I was having suicidal thoughts. The healthcare in Germany was fantastic. I really got the help that I needed, and I must say that at this time, though, I was taking 4 different kinds of medications. One antipsychotic, one mood stabilizer, the third one that I don't remember, and the fourth was an antidepressant. A cocktail, as they call it. Due to my erratic behavior and leaving the relationship abruptly, I moved from the south of Germany, where I was living for 9 years, up to Berlin, which is definitely not a good place for anyone who has mental health issues. This was one of the roughest times after my father's death. While I was married and taking all these medications, I was absolutely miserable. I couldn't see myself doing this for the rest of my life, so I tried some things in Berlin that were able to help. I'll keep these things out of the video, although they helped me a great deal and even healed me, I would go as far as to say. Now I'm only taking one medication, a very low dose of a drug called risperidone, and it's used to treat schizoaffective disorder, which I was diagnosed with after being stuck at the Moscow airport for 3 days during what appeared to be some sort of episode where I believed that I was stuck in a concentration camp. I had nightmares when I returned to Germany, that I was still in that airport, and every time I woke up, I thought I was in the hospital. As I was in the hospital, I thought I was in the airport. That was 1 year ago, December 2018. After my 40th birthday in August of 2019, I attempted to take my own life. It was the first and only time that I tried to do something like this, and I know that it would be my last. Since that time, I moved from Germany and took a teaching job, which I soon quit in Vietnam. In Vietnam, I was able to get my medications without a prescription. I would just go to the pharmacy and show them the box. I spent 3 months in Vietnam. The good weather, a new environment away from my divorce, helped me a great deal, and I found new energy in helping others and sharing my story. I started a mental health project called Beautiful Minds in Hanoi, Vietnam, in which we documented 3 stories about mental health illness. In late November of last year, I returned to New York and started doing a show for Comcast, which is called Conversations About Mental Health, which I hope will help a lot of people. So now my hope is that I can help others with the journey that I've been through, and that people can hear my story and know that they're not alone, and know that they're not the only ones who have ever been through such hardships, and to know that they can survive. This has been my story, and thank you for listening. I look forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you.